No, and hopefully it never does get cancelled. 205 Live has been quite the. Oh, there he is, the very chap I was telling you about, my dear friends. I've been telling my little pals here about our little conversations, old sport, our NXT conversations. They are quite interested. But I suppose you'd rather just jump straight into it, hmm? Let's rendezvous in our little back room, shall we? Come on, follow me.
In danger, you divvy knacker.
Oh my, okay, let's be quick. Someone really should control Becky. Yeah, just quickly through here, yes. Here we are. Now, let's take a seat and begin. And we're back. We are back doing NXT Re-Review, and it feels good to be back. It's been like a couple months since I've recorded one of these, so thank you for sticking around if you're still watching it. The reason I took the hiatus is I kind of lost motivation because I was just like, if I'm doing one a week, I'm never going to catch up ever, which would be quite frustrating for me. So, the small change we're going to be implementing this week to see if it works is we're going to be talking about 2 episodes. The NXT on the 11th of July, 2012, the NXT, let me just see, I have the date written down here, on the 18th of July, 2012. I just think, even if I do one of these a week, I'll be making progress. The hopeful idea, fingers crossed, would be that I'm able to make 2 of these episodes, 2 NXT reviews a week, which would leave me watching 4 a week, which would be insane. I'd like to do that quite a bit. I might actually fucking catch up at some stage in the next 10 years that way. So yeah, let's just jump straight into it, because I'm Philip DeFranco. Tyson Kidd, he's opening the show. He actually gets a decent pop. But it's not the crowd NXT would later have, is it? It just seems different. It feels different. Obviously, if you're watching for the first time, which I hope you are, welcome. You're not going to know what the NXT crowd eventually turns into. But it gets a bit louder. It gets a bit more rowdy, a bit more smarky. And that's good, especially on the takeover shows. We have Baron Saxton and William Regal on commentary. These seem to be our more permanent commentary members. Because in the first 2, it kind of switched. JR was in some of it. William Regal would join on and off, but these do the commentary for both these episodes here. And it's not the worst choice for a commentary team either. And we are immediately told that the Usos versus the Primetime Players, being Darren Young and Titus O'Neil, is going to be our main event this evening. But out comes Camacho. If you remember from the last episode, Camacho and Unico were involved in a tag match with Seth Rollins, Bo Dallas, and Tyson Kidd, the guy fighting Camacho here. And Camacho is, of course, accompanied by his best mate, Unico. Regal tells the same story of Unico and Camacho as last week, where either Unico or Camacho bit the eye out of some fella who was attacking the other one. Which, I don't know if it was eye last time, because, like, it's hard to bite out an eye. Not that I've ever tried, of course, but it visually, it looks like it's hard. Visually, eyes. There you go. Tyson's very sweaty here. He is fucking dripping, man. It is shocking. I don't know, man. Like, he's obviously not nervous, but it looks like he's fucking just out of the fucking bath or some shit. It's insane. Match begins, and Camacho, he shows his strength first. He's the bigger guy, but Tyson, he immediately starts showing his speed and agility by zipping around him up and down the ring. And he takes down Camacho as well. He brings him to the ground, keeps him on the ground. He's in control. And they're just kind of going back and forth a little bit. Tyson throws Camacho over the top rope. It's a slow start, I think. Like a lot of the matches we're going to be talking about today, it's very slow. It never kicks into a much higher gear. Camacho and Unico outside the ring make a plan, and Unico almost gets on the ring. He jumps up like one leg on the apron, but the ref starts getting mad at him, and the ref throws him out, which Regal points out is kind of bullshit, because Unico didn't really do anything wrong, or it wasn't a throw out offense, you know? I don't know, it seems like a bit of an overreaction. Regal rightly says, like, hey man, that's kind of bullshit. That's a direct quote from William Regal on this PG show. Hey man, that's kind of bullshit. Tyson goes over the top rope, takes out both guys. It's quite impressive. And we go to ad break with Tyson chants. The crowd quite like Tyson. I think he's a main roster guy as well. so that helps. They really know who he is at this point. Although these are the same crowd, I assume, that we're watching FCW, which is what the Full Sail crowd used to get. I think it was Full Sail. I know it was in Florida, because it was Florida Championship Wrestling, and that's what a lot of these guys used to be in. It was the former developmental brand before NXT became the proper developmental brand. Yeah, Unico's been sent out. Rick says he does nothing wrong, and Camacho then takes control. Because he swipes, I think, Tyson's legs, and Tyson goes face first into the ring apron. It looks hard, man. It really looks hard. But at this stage, the match is massively slowed down. It's kind of like when Tyson's in control, he's bouncing everywhere. When Camacho's in control, he's kind of boring you, because I guess he's a heel. Tyson starts to rally, and Camacho gives a double arm suplex to Tyson off the top rope. It looked fantastic. It was really good. And to the surprise of me, commentary, and the crowd, Tyson kicked out. I really didn't think that. Speaking of commentary, though, they don't really add anything to this. They kind of take away from it. They're very quiet. They're not really saying much. Like, I understand that Baron especially is very new to this, but Regal should be better. He's not awful, but I don't know. They're adding nothing, and their quietness is almost taking away, you know? Like, you know, at WrestleMania, where Michael Cole will be screaming and he'll lose his voice or whatever at every single match because it's the most amazing thing he's ever seen. It's the exact opposite of that, where you're just like, oh, man, Camacho is sure doing good, isn't he? Yep. Oh, Tyson with a forearm there. And it's like, come on, give me some life. Give me something, you know? But then Tyson, he ends up going up top. He makes a small comeback, hits the blockbuster, and you think that's it, but Camacho puts his foot in the rope to break a 3 count. The foot in the rope thing has always been something that I used to like a lot, but then I think The Miz, especially in like 2016, 2017, he did it in like every fucking match. And Rollins did it a fair bit too, and it just got overdone. It's something where you gotta do it like very, very rarely, because I've started being able to call it now, because I'm like, he's close to the rope, he's gonna put his foot in the rope. Oh, there you go. I don't know, because sometimes it looks fantastic, but they overuse it a bit. And now, retrospectively, even if they didn't at this point in time, it didn't have as much of an impact to me. Tyson, he tries to apply the sharpshooter to Camacho, but all of a sudden, who comes out but Michael McGillicuddy, the soon-to-be Curtis Axel? Yeah, Curtis Axel. Stupid fucking name, Michael McGillicuddy, fuck off. Tyson fights him off. He just kind of, so they gave him like one punch, because McGillicuddy's just jumped on the apron or whatever. He's not actually in the ring. But he turns around and is hit by a DDT. Camacho hits him with the DDT and wins to heavy boos. Yeah, look, this was fine. William Regal says this feud's gonna go on forever. I fucking hope not. Because it's just not that interesting or good. Neither guy particularly interests me that much. Tyson Kidd has always been someone who people say he had a lot of fantastic potential when he was wrestling. He doesn't wrestle anymore. But he never fully realized it, and this seems like that type of thing. I can see he can be decent, but I have no interest in this feud going anywhere. Now you have McGillicuddy in it. Just, I don't know. Yeah, then we cut to a Bray Wyatt vignette, which feels unnecessary because we're getting him later in the show. Not too long after this as well. He's debuting later in the show. It's still okay to see, but it's a bit like, why would you put this here? Well, I'm watching this fucking show for him. I'm not going to turn off, you know? But who knows? We have a Matt Striker interview. He's interviewing a returning Tristan Gabriel. Gabriel notes he's a 3-time tag team champion, but he doesn't exactly note that he's been dropped back down to developmental, which is a bit fucking embarrassing. Used to be part of the Nexus? Yeah, he did, because who when he fucking comes up beside him? It's next week's main event, Heath Slater, another former member of the Nexus. Slater makes fun of his hair, which looks Slater not doing too much better. He says his career's a failure, boasts about being on Raw, and then I guess Gabriel mentions like getting beat up by legends or something, so I guess at this point Slater's whole gimmick was coming out, getting beat up by a legend, which is just, you know, that is the death gimmick right there. Gabriel can't talk though. That's my big takeaway from this. Like, I'm not surprised he wasn't the leader of the Nexus, because he's not very good. And if you look back at the Nexus, none of them are particularly amazing. You know what? That's not true. Some are. Daniel Bryan was part of the first iteration of the Nexus, I believe. But a lot of them didn't really amount to anything. And I'm not that surprised. They're no Shield where all of them are megastars or whatever. They just kind of hype up the next week's main event. Aiden English comes out for a match. He's a fucking pale boy. He's not Sheamus pale now. He's not Paige pale. But he is a pale cunt, man. It's fucking weird. And then we have Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt, he comes out. As he's walking out, he's cutting a promo or whatever. Which is a pity. Because, you can't hear his fucking amazing theme music. He might have one of the best themes in WWE, man. It's really good. It's a genuinely good song. It's not just a good theme. I genuinely like it. His current theme as well as 2019 one is fucking insanely good. Whew. He says someday that we'll understand what he is, and he just kind of reiterates that over 2 minutes. He's like, you don't know what I am, but someday you'll know what I can be. And I'll just have to be here now, because you don't know what I'm gonna be, but what I am. It's a bit rambly, which becomes a staple of Bray Wyatt, but it's okay. He delivers it well, and that's always been the key to Bray Wyatt. Even if what he's saying is nonsense, he can deliver it really, really fucking well. And there's Let's Go Wyatt chants, which I find interesting. Regal says he gives him the collie wobbles, which, I know you're English, man, but jeez. Speaking of English, Wyatt throws Aiden English against the turnbuckle and just fucking sprints into him, and there is loud Wyatt chants. He hangs his head in the apron, he upside down is on the apron. It's very fucking... It's good. It's a really interesting visual. I'm surprised he hasn't done it. Well, maybe he does more in NXT, but he kind of dropped it when he went up to the main roster. And then also he kind of grabs Aiden English and does a ballroom dance type thing across the ring to this really limp, weak Aiden English. And it looks fantastic. He gets English down into position for the Sister Abigail, kisses his forehead, and you get a 3 count. It's a squash, but it's a good squash. It's effective, It was enjoyable. Because you like Wyatt, and that's really the key of it, and that's the end of that segment. Then we have Riley Pierce interviewing Richie Steamboat. Just during the interview, Leo Kruger interrupts, and a brawl breaks out, and they have a quick, scrap, and it just goes for an handbrake. It's probably setting up a match for next week, was it? It was, yes. We'll get on to that later when we have a match. We have a video package then for Raquel Diaz, the Ultra Diva. It's the Exfoliating Ugliness Tour. She looks fucking horrendous. This is a big yikes, man. It looks really bad. And as we'll see next week, there's just nothing there. It's the most basic Divas gimmick you can get, where it's I'm hot, and I'm gonna kill all the ugly people. It's fucking horrendous. Get out of here. Because I know what NXT becomes, and it's not this shit. Even, I don't know if I've talked about it in previous episodes, because I can't remember, but NXT is known for its women's division at this stage. It kind of started a women's revolution, at least in WWE. We'll see that happening eventually. It can't be too far away. They had a NXT Women's Championship, and it just kind of gets really great for a while. And then it gets a bit shit, but then it gets great again, And it's kind of, there's a 4 horsewomen of women. There's 4 horsewomen. Jeez, you know what I'm trying to say. There's 4 really great women who kind of started the women's revolution, and it starts in NXT. It starts here, and it's gonna be interesting to see that. But then you have fucking Raquel Diaz. Fuck off. But it's already main event time, because the Usos are coming out, and JR has joined commentary for our main event. He does it in the next episode as well, so I guess it's just a thing for JR. Yeah, I guess. I don't know if I like that, but I don't know if this was being televised at the time. I honestly couldn't tell you. I think it was, because I used to watch NXT. I used to watch a fair bit of it. I remember it was NXT Arrival they were showing on Sky Sports, which is their first big special at the very start of 2014. Yeah, I think it's 2014, which we'll hopefully get to at some stage. I'd like to, because that's when it starts getting good, because the specials are great, But fuck, what was I saying? Oh, televised. Yeah, it was televised then. I used to be able to watch it weekly because it was televised. It was on Sky. then it gets taken off TV for a long time, and then recently, at the time of recording, it's been back on TV for 2 weeks for, it's going to combat AEW, the new American promotion. It's going to be exciting stuff. Maybe we'll eventually get there in like 2 years' time. I think I worked it out. I think I'll be caught up in 2 years. In 2 years' time, I'll be on the current NXT stuff, I think. If I do for a week, which I doubt I will. The primetime players come out, no reaction, no one gives a shit. I think they're main roster guys, no one cares. Titus Daniel does his fucking like, fuck off shit. What is it? Like, he seems like a lovely person in real life. Apparently he's like dad of the year or some shit. Fucking horrendous gimmick. I just like, stop. Darren has like this comb thing in his hair. I guess that's their gimmick thing. Regal brings up his twins again. He brings up that he's trying to get the Usos to date his twins. I was a bit like, oh jeez, okay again. But that's fine, I guess. Yeah, Darren's looking after his hair. It's like his gimmick, I guess. It's so weird. The Usos are dominating Young in the early goings, but then Titus comes in. He doesn't really do any better. They regroup outside. The primetime players regroup outside the ring. And the Usos make fun of his hair pick. He grabs it from the corner, and they just like play with it a bit. Darren tries to get in, but he's like kicked right back out. And just before ad break, the Usos go over the top rope. Bleh. Oh, I'm good at this. And take out the primetime players. That kind of became a staple of your Raws and SmackDowns. Like, anytime they go over the top rope, and like, everyone's on the ground. There's a fucking ad break on Raw. And there is here, but it's a network. We don't get to see it, which is pretty cool. Yeah, because I think when it's taken off the network, they go to 50 minutes or like 55, whereas this is like 45 minutes. But that's because they've taken out the breaks or something, I believe. Oh, I'm having on. Oh, this jazz music it's really, tiring me out. It's nice jazz music though. Do you like it? Let's give it a listen. Hang on. Quite good, isn't it? I enjoy it. Chose it for a reason, We come back and Titus is being like dominated on the mat. The primetime players, they take control, holding Jimmy in the corner, but Young drags Jay off the apron before Jimmy can make a tag, which is actually decent. Psychology, whatever, mind games, or whatever shit. Listen to OSW review, they're good. Yeah, it was a decent bit, alright. It's a tag match. I like that sort of stuff. Titus is taken down and the crowd are rallying for, I think it's, Jimmy's trying to make the tag, in my notes at least. Because I make notes as I write, that's how I watch them. The hot tag is made though, and there's a Samoan drop to Darren Young, and the ref isn't looking, but Titus O'Neil comes in, hits the primetime player's finisher, don't know what it's called, sorry, and gets a 3 count, and it was like a mediocre Raw match. It wasn't particularly amazing. It's nothing to talk about. I feel like when I stop recording this, I'm never going to think about it again, which is a pity. Because the Usos do become great, especially in the last year or two. They've been especially like highlights, really. Maybe it was 2017 when they really started standing out. But yeah, that was the end of our episode. It feels it was an okay episode. It just feels a bit forgettable. It feels a bit like filler because there was no Seth Rollins. He seemed like a big part of the last two. But, like, I don't know, man. It wasn't very good, to be honest. Both these episodes, they had their ups and downs, but they were just meh. Bray Wyatt was probably the highlight of this episode. But I'm never going to remember any of this stuff in this one. And that's a pity. Because, I don't know. I'm excited to see if we get to the good stuff. The actual decent episodes of NXT and the specials especially, they're really good. The takeover specials, they can be fantastic when they want to be. I think there might be one that isn't good. But they're all like, some of them are like every match is a 5-star match type thing, and that's going to be great to get to. So let's move on to our second episode, the July 18, 2012 edition of NXT. The main event, we are told straight off the bat, will be Slater and Gabriel, and we have Byron and Regal on commentary again. But here's the thing. First match, it's Tamina Snuka comes out. She's the daughter of Jimmy Snuka. She's no good. be perfectly honest. She's a heel in the main roster when she eventually gets called up. I don't know when that is, but I know it's pre-2014. She's not the best. She's always kind of been, I don't know why they keep her around, to be perfectly honest. Her opponent is Caitlyn. She's called the girl next door with the easygoing attitude. And William Regal says that, well, I wish she was the girl next door to me. Oh, Regal's kind of creepy. 2012, it was a different time. It was acceptable in the 10s. I've been watching a fair bit of OSW recently, I'll be perfectly honest. The crowd are quiet. It's a very slow match. It's a bit sloppy as well. Tamina hits a Samoan drop followed by a leap off the top rope. It's Jimmy Snuka's finisher. I can't remember what it's called. I'm sorry. Absolutely nothing noteworthy here. It's just a bad, boring match. It's a terrible way to start off your show, to be honest. It's the type of thing that would make you go like, oh, what else is that? It's just not very interesting. But then we get a video package for the soon-to-be debuting Big E Langston. He is a big guy. He's a big, hefty boy. He looks like a monster. And they portray him as that. Because in the video package, you see him dominating fucking Seth Rollins, who's one of your top faces on the show, it seems. It's pretty insane. He looks good. He actually looks interesting. I'm excited to see whenever he comes up. Next match, Jinder Mahal comes out. He gets medium boos, so he's doing his work, you know. Regal puts him over and says that he was at his christening because he was friends with his parents or something because of wrestling. They had wrestling connections. His opponent is Percy Watson, who I think eventually becomes a commentator. He might even commentary in NXT eventually. Yeah, I think so. He puts his hands out for high fives on his way in, but he doesn't reach, and people are going to high five him. But Percy doesn't reach his arms out far enough that they can actually get him and high-five him. It's fucking embarrassing looking. It's ridiculous. He doesn't get a single one. It's a fast-paced start. It's evenly matched. It kind of back and forth between the two of them. But then, as it goes on, Jinder kind of takes control and really slows down the whole thing. I think it's Regal who makes note that Percy is said to be under the wing of John Cena. Which, that's a big deal. That's something you'd advertise a lot. I don't know if that's true, but geez. John Cena's your fucking mentor? But then again, I suppose at this point, the people watching might have been a bit smarkier because it's more indie. And in 2012, John Cena was not the most popular guy amongst the smarks. Percy makes a comeback. He kind of jumps up and down and flails his arm in the air. It looks fucking dumb. I'm not the biggest fan of this Percy Jackson guy. Jinder hits the high knee and locks in a camel clutch for the submission win. After the belt, Jinder locks it in again to be the Ultra heel. Because, you know, that's what heels do, blah, blah, blah. He had this, I don't know what it's called, I'm sorry. But he had like a traditional Indian, or Punjab, I suppose. I don't want to call it a hat, like the head thing, you know, you might wear. If anyone can correct me in the comments, please do. Which he kind of puts in this special glass case, which, you know, what a heel thing to do, to care about, you know, your culture like that. What a dickhead. Richie Steamboat, he's coming out. He's gonna have a match. He's having a match against Leo Kruger that was set up, not teased, last week, and the crowd like him actually a fair bit. I like him as well. He's pretty decent. But then Leo comes out to just a deafening silence. He's a terrible theme as well. Maybe it's the South African national anthem. I don't know, man. He wears a sash that Regal says was bestowed upon him by Nelson Mandela. The crowd are quiet, and Leo takes charge, but Richie quickly takes over. Leo slams Richie's head into the bottom turnbuckle, and a near fall, which gives... Hang on, what? Near fall when Richie gives a small package to Leo. It's a bit dull. Not much has really happened at this point. It's another just blah match. These weren't the best 2 episodes of NXT, to be honest. But, as I say, it gets great. Just gotta give it time. Please give it time. Because it does get good. It's just not now. It's all set up. It is all set up, I promise. There will be a point where you're fucking jumping up and down. At NXT TakeOver, like, 25 or whatever. You will, like, lose your mind. Because there's great stuff there. But just right now, we have Leo Kruger. Yeah. Leo Kruger. That's all I need to say. And the crowd rallies for Steamboat because he hits an insecurity, which is really nice looking, in fairness. And he delivers these hard chops to Kruger. Leo rolls out of the ring and Steamboat chases after him. They run around for a little bit. Kruger rolls up Steamboat, but with his feet on the ropes for the win. Crowd seem tired. They don't seem to be giving any match excitement so far in the entire this episode. Maybe it's at the end of the tapings, perhaps. I guess they're just not into anything. But then the exfoliating ugliness tour is gonna begin. Oh, here's trouble, because Raquel comes out, delivering a promo as she enters, and it's just, I hate her voice. It's just, I'm here to save NXT from ugliness. It's one of those. It's your generic basic bitch, popular teen or whatever in a high school movie, and you just want to die. I have my notes I've written down. I hope Paige killers. She calls the NXT team color scheme growth. Although, you know what I do like? She has the mic thing that like some singers have, where it's like attached to their face, so they don't have to like hold the microphone. I think it's better than the ones you need to hold, or it can be for some people. Elias has it. We'll eventually get to Elias Sampson, and he has that. But then, who's she fighting? It's only Paige. I asked Paige to kill her, and look who's here. It's fucking Paige, and I swear I didn't know she was coming out. Paige is really good in ring presence. She really knows what she's doing. It seems she was doing it for a while, I know, before, but she might not even be 20 here, like, and she knows what she's doing. The crowd are immediately chanting for her, and Raquel is like screaming in fear. But she repeatedly slams Paige's face against the mat, and it looks okay in fairness. Paige makes a comeback and gets a 2 count after like a few clotheslines. But Raquel hits the gory bomb for the win. It looks okay, but I don't fucking push Raquel, okay? What's her name? Raquel something? I don't give a shit. I couldn't care. She's terrible. I'm not into this gimmick at all. I really don't want to see more of this, but she's beaten Paige. She's gotten a win. Maybe she'll just go away, please. But then we go backstage, and we have Oksana. She's being hit on by, I think his name's Alex Riley? Or it might just be Riley. I'm not 100% sure. I don't think they say it. She hits on him. He seems like a white meat babyface type guy. He just seems like, well, I'm happy to be here type guy. Cesaro, Oksana's boyfriend, is very annoyed. He looks like Indiana Jones with the shirt he's wearing and his like satchel thing. It's pretty neat, I guess. I can't fucking hear anything in this promo though, because everyone except Cesaro is fucking whispering. It's insane. Like, I don't know how, because this doesn't air live, so I don't know how they fucked it up this bad, because I just cannot hear what they're saying. I think it's setting up a match for next week, but this was just a waste of time. I don't know what fucking happened. Main event time. Heath Slater comes out for our main event. JR joins commentary just like last week, which I guess is a standard thing now. And here comes Justin Gabriel. He's an okay look, but he just doesn't really have any charisma, I think. It's pointed out they're both former members of the Nexus. Gabriel definitely, however, is better in the ring. Slater sucks chance. It seems like an exhibition match at first, because Gabriel, he's really the only one doing moves. He falls off the top rope and hits his head off the ground. It looks pretty rough. It looks like it might have fucked him up. I don't think it did, but I'm not 100% sure. We go to break, and we come back to Gabriel in a headlock. There's a neck breaker given to Gabriel, and Gabriel is able to get his foot on the rope to break a pin attempt. The match actually starts to speed up, and it's keeping an excited pace. There was a near fall that got me, because Gabriel was almost pinned, but Gabriel wins with a reverse run, a very nice one at the end. It's a decent match, best on the show, I'd say. Maybe best on both shows, maybe. I don't know if I'd go that far, but it was definitely best on this show. And this was a pretty fucking shit episode, I'll be perfectly honest. There was no, like, big Bray Wyatt, like, oh, that's a really cool character. It's just nothing. Paige got fucking beaten like a piece of shit. No, not for me. Weakest episode so far, I think. And how many are we into it? 5. This might be the 5th episode. The next, if I do 2 more of these, it should be interesting, because they announced something in those. That'll be cool. And I am unsure on 100% how to go on this series. If I'm doing 4 a week, if I can keep to that, awesome, cool. If I start slowing it down though, maybe I should skip like a year and a half ahead. and just get to when they start building towards their first special. Because that's when it gets really good. Or at least better. Much better. But I also kind of want to watch the whole thing. I don't know, I'm a bit conflicted on that. I suppose we'll see how it's going. Because if it is just like, I'm here and I'm fucking watching all the episodes and I'm able to keep up for a week, most weeks at least, then that's totally fine. It'll take me like 3 months to get through a year's worth of stuff. I can do that. That's not a big deal. I wouldn't mind that, to be perfectly honest, because, you know, I do enjoy watching this stuff, even if it isn't the best. And it's not too long either. But if I'm only doing like 1 or 2 episodes a week, I might have to skip an entire year of stuff. Which is a pity, because I want to see the introductions of people that I like your Sami Zayns and Finn Balor's and Kevin Owens'. But I might just have to skip them. Who knows? But you know what I know? I think we're at the end of our little journey here, old sport. I think we might have to wrap this up and come back next week, alright? I'll see you then, when we can watch the next 2 episodes of NXT and have a grand old time. Thank you, as always, for joining me. I've been your host, the Immaculate Kieran Brennan, and, well, I'll see you next time. Ciao.